We're almost May. Good hooks and nice walleye. Look at this. Look at that beautiful Detroit River walleye.
Let's go fishing. People, when you're in the mood, let's go fishing. Well, it's just me and you. Head on down to the fishing hole. Grab your hat, get your pole. Let's go fishing when you're in the mood.
Canadian Sport Fishing is brought to you by Rapala, premium fishing gear crafted from experience. Yamaha Outboards, reliability starts here. Sail, the outdoors superstore. Fisher Girl, catch the passion.
Boy, this is awesome. We've got a nice crisp morning. It's mid-spring. We're down here on the Detroit River, which is one of the favorite places for Barb and I to fish, with our good friend Pat Pagano, Mr. ICHA Derby.
Yes.
And we've got Mulligan with us, who's making sure we're safe out here. And we're fishing along with probably a few hundred boats, not just in this area, but along the whole Detroit River. So we spoke to these gentlemen behind us, and they've got one fish left to go for their limit, and it's only like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Got one, Italo.
Okay, Barb.
Yay.
I'm going to try to control the electric until we see it.
Okay.
How did it hit? Did it hit light?
It hit hard. It was right on the bottom.
Okay.
It hit hard, really.
What do you think of that outfit? That's that new Sapphire bait caster.
It's beautiful. It's actually very nice. I love the color.
Oh, okay. Nice
Oh,
walleye.
nice walleye.
Pat, you don't mind if I jump down here?
Okay.
Nice fish, Barb, just on the stinger. You're right when you said, Pat, that we should be putting stingers on these jigs.
Yes, they always help.
Yeah, I'm going to just get that mesh out from around. Barb, look at it.
Beautiful.
You can see if I hold it up, that stinger hook just in the bottom of the mouth. Definitely makes a big difference. You can see that it's a tiny treble, but it's so sticky. And a lot of times if that walleye hits short, because you can see where the main hook is, if I have this extended, that main hook would have missed the fish. It's probably a ½ inch distance. But that stinger that's back a little bit got the fish. Good one, Barb. Okay, Barb, it's the first one. You hold it.
Okay.
I'm going to get a photo of you with it, okay?
Yep.
You got it?
Yeah.
And just stand still. I just got to get my camera out. You know, this is exciting because you can get walleye up to 10 pounds fishing like this. Okay, this way, Barb. Perfect. Big smile. Perfect. We're going to keep a few fish for eating, but this first one we're going to release. So you know what? That stinger hook holds really nicely. It's just caught by a little bit of fiber.
Here.
We've got pliers.
Oh,
Well,
yes.
Oh, you're ready. Perfect. Pat, you've done this before?
Of course.
Where you've had to have pliers. There it is, Barb.
Thank you.
Hold this. You get him back in the net. The water's still cold. You can see that the walleye are a very light color. It's probably because of the color of the water. So they'll have more of a whitish tinge. So you can see the belly, and this guy's got lots of energy. We're using that Lucky Strike basket live relief net, so it's easy to get the fish out. He wants to swim to the bottom. I'm just trying to get him out here so that you see him. Come on, come on. He says, I like this net. It's lots of cover. There he goes. Perfect. Barbara, you did that very well. High five.
Yay.
The You Find Fish mobile fishing app. Catch of the day.
Are you ready to tell me all about your smallie and your largie that you uploaded to our You Find Fish app?
I guess so. Okay, well, we're up north in Perry Sound area, and I was fishing a little weed of lily pads for the largemouth, and I was using a worm and bobber, and he just hit it, took it, did a couple jumps, and pulled him in. And then for the smallmouth, we were out in the boat, and the smallmouth hit. We were dragging a couple spinners behind the boat. I didn't know what to do. I turned the motor off and then pulled him in, and we got him in the net, and it was a nice little fish. It was really exciting because I've never caught anything like that before.
So how's the app working for you?
Well, the app actually, a buddy of mine told me that I fish a lot with. He told me about that, and I really like the tip section. That's nice. I've been trying to use some of those. It's really informative, and you know, my favorite part is the gallery. It's a really good app.
We're here again at the annual ICHA Handicapable Fishing Derby. And as you can see, the whole waterfront in Windsor, right near the Ambassador Bridge, is loaded with people. Most of them are young families. You can see their kids. They've all got their life jackets on. A lot of the equipment and gear has been donated, which is really nice. And there's so many people that are helping out. We have the Ontario Provincial Police. We have the Canada Coast Guard that's out there. You can see the OPP boat, the Coast Guard boat. A lot of pro fishermen and a lot of volunteers, because there's lots of boats on this play, a lot of people that are donating food, ice cream, drinks. There's going to be music. As I'm talking to you, walking up, I can see the parents taking their kids fish to weigh in. This is such an amazing event to be involved in, because for a lot of these people, it's the only time in 1 year that they get to fish. So it's perfect because it's done right in downtown Windsor. All the amenities are close by. And we've got a beautiful day. So I'm going to go and talk to some of the fishermen and see some of the fish that they're weighing in. That's an eater, Pat. It's a little bit smaller than the other one. And you got it on the front hook. That's awesome.
Yesterday we got 3 in the boat. Only we fished for half an hour.
Wow.
And we missed 3 more.
Wow, that's good. Same size, eating size?
No, they were bigger.
You know what, Pat? That's a perfect eating size.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. He's about 2.5 pounds, I'm
Yes.
guessing.
Oh, yeah.
Nice fillets. Okay,
Good
we're
eating.
going to keep it. That's
Great.
going to be part of dinner.
Excellent.
Pizza's great, but walleye's
Oh,
good
yeah.
too. Way to go, Pat.
Thank you.
Wow, look at this one. Robert's weighing in his first fish. Nice. Let's put it right up in here.
Joe, nice to see you. Who's that young man over there? He looks like a professional fisherman.
Here we go.
It took months and months, actually took years. It took me probably a year to learn how to throw a bait caster, and I'm still backlashing to this day. And I tell everybody, if a professional tells you he doesn't backlash, he's lying. All right, well, where do you want me to hit Humpty at? Somebody said bow tie, somebody said eyeball. I'll tell you what, how about I take a shot at both of them? That work? All right, here we go. Okay.
You got the hook into it well. Slow down in case it's a big one. I know you can get good sized walleye, Barb. I've seen you. Pat, can I have the net? Perfect. Thank you very much. Barb, good hook set. Nice walleye. Look at this. I've got these semi-waterproof rubber gloves. So I'm going to try to very carefully hold this fish like this. You know what? You got it on the main hook. Perfect, Barb. I got to show the viewers this. Pat, I'm going to hand you the net. Barb, look at that fish really socked it.
It did.
That's a perfect spot to hook a fish.
Hungry fish.
The only problem is that they have a very hard roof of their mouth.
Yes.
So you set the hook really well. I saw you heave back. So you can see that stinger is just hanging there, our security hook that just came out is pretty bony there. You can see that 4-inch plastic worm. That's what works so well here, just on a 1/2 ounce or a 5/8 ounce jig head. There's something about it. I mean, it looks simple. There's no action tail or anything, but it works really well. Just lift it up and down along the bottom.
How long is that?
You know what? Good question, Barb. Oh, can you tell it's an aluminum boat? Isn't that a nice walleye? There's so many walleye in Lake Erie, the actual river, the Detroit River, the St. Clair River, and all the way up to Lake Huron and Lake St. Clair, that it's a great food fishery. So most of the guys that are fishing here, unless they get a really big fish, like 8 to 12 pounds, are keeping this size of fish for eating. And a lot of the guys come out day after day. We talked to people today that drove about 2 hours to get here. And they saw one of the shows that we did in the past. And it was a family. There was about 7 or 8 people. And they were so excited about getting walleyes. So it's so simple because all you got to do is jig on the bottom. And it's not really guesswork where to fish. You just see where the boats are drifting and just join them. And as long as you can contact the bottom, you can get nice walleyes like this one. What a go, Barb. Beautiful fish.
Fisher girl! Catch the passion!
Okay, Italo, I wanted to talk to you today about the importance on baiting your hook for panfish like perch and sunfish. I find it very important to make sure that your worm is on the hook properly because they have such small mouths that they can just come right up to your hook and just take your worm right off the hook, and that's not fun. Okay, Italo, so what I'm going to do here is show you how I bait my hook. I take my worm and I get it about just in the middle and I break it in half.
Yep.
And I'm going to take the half, the end actually, where I broke it off. I'm going to take my hook and I'm going to stick it right in there. And I'm going to slide the worm just about all the way to the end.
I like the way you're putting it right through the center, so there's no bulges.
Oh yes. So I'm pushing the worm all the way down on my hook. And what you want is just to have a little piece, just a little bit hanging off at the end. So he doesn't have much to grab, but when he grabs it, he's going to make sure that he has the hook as well.
You know what? That's perfect. Look, the way Nikki has rigged this worm, the hook isn't even pointing out of the worm. So when that panfish, because he's got such a small mouth, goes for that little tip that's wiggling, it's going to get the hook in its mouth. And a lot of times, even with just half a worm, you'll end up getting a larger fish, and I'm sure that's happened to you.
Exactly.
Excellent tip.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Naden Boats, Canada's finest aluminum boats.
If you're fishing any deep water, especially moving water like the Niagara River or the Detroit River, especially in the spring, it's very important to keep your presentation near the bottom. One of the best ways to catch walleye in the Detroit River, especially in March, April, and May, is to use jigs and to control the boat with your electric trolling motor. What I'm holding up here is 3/8 ounce jig heads, which will work fine if you're in water less than 15 feet deep. If you're fishing some of the breaks that are 18 to 25 feet deep, you'll have to go to a 1/2 ounce jig head or a 3/4 ounce jig head. Now, most anglers will tip their jig heads, but they won't tip them with bait. They'll either use a plastic minnow, like the 4-inch minnow that I'm holding up in my left hand, or they use the plastic worms in the 4-inch size. The best go-to color is a chartreuse jig head with a 4-inch plastic worm. This is Molly. She's our puppy. She likes to John out there? Just a little bit.
All right, guys. All right, so Heidi got one.
We'll try again.
0.55, big fish for so far. Way to go, Ken.
I got a fish!
'Cause he does it.
Nice
Yeah,
fish.
nice fish.
You know, it's always nice to see some of the locals catch fish, Pat. You want me to come back and help? Oh, you got it already.
Here we go.
Nice fish, Pat. Now, how come every time we come down, the weather's kind of nasty? What's up with that?
You know what? I still try to figure it out. Every time you come down, this what's happening. But
Murphy's-
anyway, it's working for us.
Okay, so you think changing to a white jig head made a difference?
You know what? I think it did. You're right.
Yeah, because Barb got 2 fish, and that one's on the stinger too. I can see the stinger in its mouth.
Wow. He really smacked this bait.
I can
this
see
time.
that. Yeah.
Really want this bait.
You need the pliers, or are you okay?
I'm okay.
Let's take a measurement when you get it off, Pat. I want to see. He looks like he's about 17, 18, I'm guessing. Maybe 17. Let's see.
20.
No way. Don't. You're always making the fish sound bigger. Let's be honest with the people on camera. How long is it?
20?
Oh.
Yeah, look, exactly.
Lindsay, that's a nice perch. It's one of the biggest perch I've seen weighed in. What's so special? He's not normal colors. Wow. Look at that beautiful fish. Now that's what a normal goby looks like. What's your name? Lewis, do you know what kind of fish that is? It's a white perch. We were catching fish like that yesterday. They're very good eating. Wow, that's a good size one. 0.55. You know, the one thing when you're fishing down here on the Detroit River, there are places where it's nice and quiet and green, but also a lot of the Detroit River waterfront is very developed and urbanized. So you can see we've got factories in the background. Pat, it's another nice evening.
Beautiful.
Barbara, look at this. But you know, I don't mind the background when you have fishing that's this good. Look at how pale this walleye is. Now he's probably got the stinger hook and the main hook in his mouth. He really hit hard, Pat. And you just missed one, right?
That's right.
Prime walleye. So I wonder where these fish are. In the summertime, do you get them out in Lake Erie, Pat?
Yes, of course, yes.
I wouldn't tell
Using
people,
a different technique. You know.
with harnesses,
Yes.
trolling, how do you get them then?
Yes, worm harnesses.
Yeah. Do you ever use planer boards?
No.
No? Nice fish. There, look at this. Look how light he is. He's almost like a cream color. He's got a little bit of gold sheen, but nothing like the walleyes that we get, you know, from weedy, shallower lakes. Still a very pristine fish. They've got that mark on the tail, white, black there. Great eating though, very healthy. Okay, Pat?
Great.
And hand it back to you.
Thank you.
Perfect. And we're still in 30 feet of water, so this is good, about 28. Now, when it comes to walleye fishing, most fishermen will agree that jigs are the #1 producers used with plastic grubs because they go to the bottom and that's where the walleye are. Well, here in the Detroit River, it's the same thing. The only problem is that you have a current and some deep water. What I'm holding up is really the main combination of a jig head and a stinger hook that most of the guys are fishing here. These particular ones are 3/8 in size, and they would work fine if you're fishing in water less than 20 feet and just where the current break is pretty light. So the way these stinger hooks work, they come in a pack just like this, and you can see that they have a little device at the end of them that enables you to take it on or put it off your jig head. So they come in 3-inch size, which is this one that I'm holding up right here in my left hand, or 4-inch in my right hand, depending on how big of a hook you use or how big of a bait or trailer you're using. So let me just show you here on this particular jig, which is really nice because it has that little grub barb. See, there's a wire barb there which will hold a plastic worm or a plastic minnow on really well. So if I want to take that trailer hook off, all I do is push it back, and you can see that it's got a little eye, a removable one, that literally just slides in the eye of the jig, and then you connect it on, and you'll see how far back it hangs. If I just hang this like this, I'll try holding it like that, you can see that you actually add 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches of hookability for the fish. So what you would do is take your plastic grub, put it on the jig that has the grub barb, and let it hang straight down, and then put the stinger hook in it. So a very smart system to use. Now, if you're fishing in deeper water like we were, as deep as 30, 35 feet, you have to go to heavier jig heads. So these are jig heads that guys will even use in salt water. The flathead won't have as much resistance in the current, so you can actually get them to the bottom a little bit quicker, especially if you're using a braided line. The rounded ones have a little bit more resistance, but you can still fish them on the bottom. What I like about these particular jig heads is they have very large hooks, which is good because walleye, for the most part, have very big mouths and they're hard mouths. So if a walleye does get one of these in their mouth and you give it a good hook set with your braided line, the fish won't get off. So they're very good hooks to use. So if you're coming down here, just make sure you don't need a lot of different size of jig heads, but I'd say 1/2 ounce, 5/8 ounce, maybe a handful of 3/8 in case you're fishing a little bit closer to shore or you want to go for some different fish species. Barbara, I've got a fish on.
That looks like a big one, Italo.
I don't know, it feels good.
It looks excellent.
Well, you know, we're fishing just off the structure break in about 18, 19 feet of water. This feels too heavy. It can't be a walleye.
Wow, what did you get, Italo?
Pat, how big do the walleyes get in here? Oh, man.
This is a biggie.
Nice walleye.
Nice one.
Good
big
going,
walleye.
Italo.
Wow. I'm glad we moved to the spot, Pat.
Beautiful.
Now you be careful, okay? I know you've netted lots of big fish. If I can turn them around. And perfect.
Beautiful.
Good one, Pat.
Nice fish, Italo.
Wow, okay, Pat, you can just hold it up.
Yep.
The hook stuck in the net.
Nice
And
fish.
there, let me see if I can get my finger underneath. You know what? This guy's going to be too big to keep.
Yeah.
We've got those nice eating size
It's
ones.
at least 5 pounds here.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, a lot of the people have actually moved off. There's nobody around us. Yeah, beautiful Detroit River walleye. Don't know if that's a male or a female, but it's a chunky fish. You know what? Female. There's eggs coming out of it. So this fish is still spawning. That is amazing. So see if you can see them here on my glove. So the walleye are still spawning here. This is very interesting. We're almost May. And a lot of the years they're done spawning, and I'm surprised this year because it's been an early
yes.
spring. They're still spawning. Nice female. Okay, I'm gonna get it back in the water.
Canadian sport fishing is brought to you by Suffix, the world's most hardcore fishing line. Yamaha Outboards, reliability starts here. Sail, the outdoors superstore. Fisher Girl, catch the passion.
So this is awesome because the fishing is very easy. As long as you have the right gear, like an electric trolling motor, like we have, a sonar to know the depth, a nice comfortable boat. Now, if this boat looks a little bit different, it's because it's made in Oregon in the US. It's called the Riverhawk, and it's designed to run in very shallow rivers. So the Detroit River is not shallow. It's a pretty big body of water and pretty deep in the main channel. But you can see it's actually ideal with an electric and many people in the boat and even a dog. So yesterday we had a wonderful time at a pizza party, which I hadn't been to before. And I understand that they've made about 200 pizzas, right? For
Yes.
people over a 3-day period.
3 days. Yeah.
So it was
The
amazing
weekend.
that you could order all the different things.
That's right.
That was a pizza party. This looks like a walleye party. Everybody's out here trying to catch walleye.